There's about you. It kills my heart to see it rising all longer on me. It's critical of me. You stop messing with me. It kills my heart, you know. You think this love could grow? 'Cause anywhere you go, you know I will follow. 'Cause I'm kissed my heart, you know, like no one ever did before. And I heard he moved on. Yeah, I heard he moved on. 'Cause I'm sleepless about you. Sleepless about you. Oh, 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 sleepless about you. Kiss my heart, you know, like no one ever did before. And I heard you move on. Yeah, I heard you
Since you left, I give my breath to cigarettes. Since you left, I try my best to forget. I can't escape the love we made, it follows me. I can't escape from your love. And I've been rolling the dice with Aphrodite, spending my nights without you beside me, throwing some darts in bars with the queen of hearts, queen of hearts. And I've been drinking with Cupid, thinking of you, babe, thinking of you, babe. Oh, how can I be so stupid, fighting and losing, fighting and losing. Oh, I've been spinning the bottle, fighting the bottle, fighting the bottle. Oh, I've been drinking with Cupid, thinking of you, babe, thinking of you, babe. And since he left, I tried my best to turn the page. Since he left, I roll my joints with Hemingway. I can't erase the way your face lit up this place. I can't escape from your face. And I've been rolling the dice with Aphrodite, spending my nights without you beside me, throwing some darts in bars with the queen of hearts, queen of hearts. And I've been drinking with Cupid, thinking of you, babe, thinking of you, babe. Oh, how can I be so stupid, fighting and losing, fighting and losing. Oh, I've been spinning the bottle, fighting the bottle, fighting the bottle. Oh,
Hello, hello. Are we alive? Are we? I'm not entirely sure. I think we are. I think we're alive. I could be very easily proven wrong though. Hold on. Hold on. He's dragged. There we go. There we go. Hello everyone. I have paper and shit everywhere. My new audio interface came in and I've been setting it up. I was actually in the middle of setting up the DAW when I glanced at the time and realized that we were like almost here. I don't know where to put this thing. There. I'll just put that there. I hope you all have been having a good day. I am exhausted mentally, I think. We are once again trying the stream to YouTube thing. And it seems to be working better this time now that I'm not trying to pump 20,000 kilobytes over to the other platform. Seems to be working better. Smile. Yeah, so that turned out to be the problem, is I was pumping way too much to a website because I misread the setting. Because I am the smartest raccoon on the planet and I am extremely literate. So I misread the setting. Which caused stream to have conniptions yesterday and ultimately resulted in me having to forfeit the multi-stream to YouTube idea. But we seem to be fine now. We seem like we're doing okay. I made sure to start YouTube stream more or less on time. With Twitch stream, I think it's like 7 seconds behind. Like, at most. So yes, hello to all the familiars on YouTube. I do this. I welcome to the shenanigans. The VODs are... I finally have a site that's going to be putting my VODs up for the foreseeable forever. Please enjoy the shenanigans. And if this happens to be the first time you're seeing me and you're watching a VOD or something, I hope you're having a good day. And I hope that there is more of you. But yes, we are officially multiple places now. We are officially multiple places at once. Multiple raccoon. Please enjoy it. But yeah, we're gonna vibe for a bit. I'm admittedly a little bit annoyed. Okay. I have to rant about this. I am actually a little bit annoyed. Because I've been trying to hammer down a bit more on the content creation and getting stuff like uploaded, etc. Getting the audio interface here is a big part of that. The microphone should be here tomorrow, which means I will have something, which means that the only excuse for shitty audio will be the absolutely atrocious acoustics in this room, which I'm also hopefully going to be fixing. But I've got a really good mic coming in. I have an audio interface all set up and ready for it. My headphones came with where'd I put it? My headphones came with this XLR adapter, which basically means that I don't have to worry about getting a new pair of headphones for this because my headphones already plug into it. So I've been trying to get further on the grind there, right? Like, we might be streaming starting from next Saturday. We might be streaming on Saturdays from now on. We might be streaming earlier, etc. Like, I'm I'm doubling down, unfortunately. For everyone involved and for the universe as a whole, I am unfortunately doubling down on the streaming thing. And because I'm doubling down on the streaming thing, I am immensely frustrated. Because I post stuff I have stuff scheduled to YouTube. And that goes up the days that on like Thursdays, Fridays, right? That goes up on the days that I stream. And I had a video go up yesterday that just went nowhere. Like it died dead on arrival, and I'm immensely frustrated. I'm gonna try something. But like dead on arrival, extremely frustrated. I was going to stream to TikTok, but I'm gonna have to get a little more traction on there. And oh my god, trying to get traction on any website is a pain in the ass. Just certifiably a pain. So I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. I'm a little bit stressed. But you know what? We're here. And we're functional, and that is the important part, I think. That's the important part. I hope you all have been having a fantastic Friday so far. I also woke up before noon. Yesterday I woke up before 1, like literally 15 minutes before 1. I woke up before noon, which is strange, and I don't know how to feel about it. Because normally I don't wake up before noon. And when I don't wake up before noon, I feel when I don't wake up before noon, I feel fine. When I wake up before noon, I feel weird. I even took melatonin, so I can't necessarily say my sleep was bad, but I have my fancy watch charging, so when I go to bed tonight, I can put it on and make sure that I'm actually getting good sleep instead of the worst sleep on the planet. Granted, I'm willing to put money on the worst sleep on the planet being my result today. So yes, we are going to be doing some more meltdowns on Lobotomy Corporation today. Specifically, we're going to be doing Hod's meltdown, I want to say. We're going to be doing Funny Training Team meltdown because I have a thing for regression and enjoy my skill levels going backwards. Because reverse progression is amazing. As a Final Fantasy XIV raider, I can say that for certain. Also as a Final Fantasy, speaking of FF, I am very, very scared for Black Mage in 7.2. I'm looking to move to Black Mage for next year for my static because I main Red Mage, but it just doesn't put out the damage to really make playing it worthwhile when I would have an easier time putting out more damage on Black Mage or Pictomancer. But I want to play Black Mage because Black Mage still has a little bit of skill required and high-end optimization you can do. But from the latest live letter, there's a lot of theories going around due to Yoshi P's UI that they're getting rid of the time constraints on Black Mage, and they're getting rid of the increased cast times. The only unique thing Black Mage has. They're gonna kill the gimmick of the entire caster section, which is that they all interact with the cast times differently, right? Summoner doesn't have any. Red Mage has the dual cast thing where every other spell is instant. Red Mage has longer than like necessary cast times, right? The actual cast times are longer than your GCD. And then Pictomancer is the normal one, arguably, right? And now they're removing that bit of uniqueness from Black Mage. Your fire is going to have 2-second cast time. You're like Fire 4 is going to have a 2-second cast time, and that just feels unnecessary to me. I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that Black Mage currently fits, and it really worries me because they keep taking things out of the game and they keep taking things away from jobs. And that feels really frustrating and really bad because I feel like they should be giving jobs more things, not taking them away. And at the same time, they've gone on record, and Yoshi's gone on record complaining about falling asleep doing content, or almost falling asleep doing content because the content was so easy. But they've barely moved the needle on casual content, and they're removing stuff that creates difficulty within like play rotations. And I'm struggling to see the connection between we want to make things more difficult and removing difficult aspects of playing a given job. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and I think it's actually like irritating me because I don't understand it, and I enjoy a game where I have to press buttons and where pressing the right buttons matters, right? It feels very... I think an apt description or comparison would be like if you were playing 9 Souls, right, from like yesterday, but every single parry was a perfect parry. You still had to hit the button, but there was no timing involved with it, right? Like you could hit it super early or super late, so long as it hit a parry window, it was a perfect parry. They're wanting to make content actually harder going forward, such as Savage, instead of just playing the game being difficult. The big thing is though, is that like, that's not the reason people are leaving. People are leaving, like, from everything that I have seen, right, on YouTube, etc., from people who are complaining about the game right now, which, because it's apparently a popular thing to be doing. I'm not exactly innocent of that trend at the moment. But everything that I'm seeing is people complaining that the general game is too easy. And that they're bored playing the general game and they have no desire to play the general game. Because if you're not exactly doing the super high-end content, there's nothing. And I think the difficulty becomes is like, yeah, you can make Savage and you can make Ultimate as hard as you want. That's not the actual majority player base of the game. Alright. The bulk of the player base does not do Savage. And you're stripping in and unless they're going to make it easier to do Savage and get into Savage by fixing the gearing issue the game has had for ages, for instance, you're not going to push more people into Savage by making the entire game easier. You're going to have the opposite effect because the people that are doing Savage content are going to stop playing if there's no reason to do the Savage content. And guess what? We get 2 Ultimates every expansion, not 3. And that means that one of these given tiers is not going to have an Ultimate attached to it. And that means that there's going to be one of these given tiers where people just drop. Because there's no reason to get Biss. There's no actual reason for gearing in this game outside of wanting to have best in slot. There's no reason for it. There's nothing that requires it. Ultimate is the only thing that comes to mind. But if you're not exactly doing Ultimate, which is again a minuscule part of the player base, there's no reason to do it. And it feels like they are it feels like they're oversimplifying the game. I don't mind the game being generally easy. The game has always been generally easy. Even in Stormblood, I did not have a problem getting through the story. The story has always been easy. The game has overall always been easy. But what confuses me is that back in like Stormblood, right, and Shadowbringers, we had these spots of difficulty that required having an understanding of the game, however basic, and rewarded you, and not necessarily rewarded, but encouraged you to develop a familiarity with the combat system. The way content is designed right now does not encourage any sort of familiarity with the combat system. And the way that they are designing the MSQ is a visual novel. So the combat system feels completely is beginning to feel secondary outside of exactly the super hard content. Well, yeah, but that's and that's definitely an absolute, and that's a good point. But the concern that I have is this outcry about the game getting too easy is over an expansion old now, and it seems to be getting more of the player base, right? More and more of the player base seems to be saying the game is too easy. And with the devs saying that they're with Yoshi P like admitting the game's too easy and saying that like, yeah, I've been complaining about falling asleep during an expert dungeon, right? We get conflicting messages. We get devs who say they want the game to provide a challenge, but then won't provide that challenge to the player base as a whole. They reserve that challenge for people who have essentially a dedicated static, right? A significant part of the player base PFs, but I also know a significant part of the player base who, more than likely, hears the nightmare stories out of Party Finder and doesn't go into Party Finder. They wait to get a static. Which means that it just doesn't, the pieces don't fit to my perspective, is what I'm saying. I understand not wanting to make the game too hard. I'm not expecting the game to be Dark Souls or EVE Online, right? Where the game has an incredibly steep learning curve. EVE has one of the steepest learning curves I've ever seen in gaming, and while fun, it took me a while, like a month and a half, to get comfortable and understand what the hell was going on with everything and what I needed to do. I learned how to do, I learned how to take a bridge literally like 2 weeks ago, right? There is still shit about EVE that is basic common knowledge to a lot of people that I don't know. I think, to be fair, that a lot of this kind of stuff. The problem is, I don't think the player base is going to accept, please look forward to it. And we understand that the game is easy. Wait for 8.0. I don't think that's going to cut it for people. I'm honestly concerned that that's not going to cut it for a wide portion of the player base, and that the game's population is going to suffer, if it's not already significantly suffering, because of this. Like, I understand that development takes time. I'm not saying that I'm not expecting these changes to come out before 8.0. I know there's a huge thing for 8.0. But if they understand the game is very easy, and that is a concern that the player base has, and that there are complaints in the player base that, hey, the game is too easy, why are they making it easier? If they understand this is a problem that this is a, like, quote, problem the player base has, why are they making it easier? Why are they exacerbating that potential issue? They removed Viper's debuff, right? Which actually I've forgotten the name of, unfortunately, right? They removed it. Noxious Nash, there it was. They removed Noxious Nash because it was apparently too much, right? It was too much difficulty. It was, it made the job too busy, right? It was too difficult to utilize, so they removed it. Which feels very contradictory and it feels very contradictory, right? They're saying, with them saying, we know the game is easy, we've got this huge thing for 8.0 where we're gonna work on job difficulty and identity, etc. It'll all be better in 8.0, right? And they have us looking forward to an expansion that's over a year and a half away, right? Or at least like another year, right? We can blame JP because they were the ones complaining about difficulty. Well, that's a whole different... I feel like that's a whole different thing, right? Because the devs going back on themselves consistently, right? And contradicting themselves with, like, yes, we know the game is easy, but we know the game is easy, but we know this game is easy, we're working on making it more difficult for later expansions, we're working on adding more challenge and more, like, engagement in it, right? They're saying this, and then acting in the opposite. And I feel like the incident with Noxious Nash is the appearance more and more looks like the devs are afraid of the player base. Like, they don't, like, chaotic is about the only risk that they've taken this entire expansion. Right? I'm not going to get into Dawntrail's story. I'm not going, because that doesn't really, like, when I say risk, I'm talking difficulty, right? This thing might be hard and difficult to overcome. This might be a challenge. The only risk that they've taken in terms of that was chaotic. And they basically apologized for chaotic. I would not be surprised if the next chaotic raid was easier than Cloud of Darkness. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. Because I feel like this dev team is incredibly scared. Like, paralyzingly scared of doing anything that might cause, like, Johnny Johnson, who's, like, 100% disabled from the VA and can't use, like, with nerve damage in both hands, from being able to play the game and do shit in, like, end game content. And, like, yes, I want people to be able to enjoy the game, but there is a certain point when accessibility stops being an excuse for making shit easy. I need accessibility options, right? I have audio and visual perception issues. So there are certain accessibility options that I very much need. But I don't think the game should be playable with, like, my eyes closed. And I would like to have a degree... I would like to play the game and have a little bit of challenge with it. Yeah, and, like, I understand. My issues are incredibly, like, This is very much me shouting into the void, and I understand my issues are that this is very much a me issue, right? I very much understand this is a me issue. I'm shouting, I'm screaming into the void here, not because I'm frustrated. And to narrow it down, the bulk of my frustration here is the devs consistently contradict themselves. I feel like, for me personally, if the devs went, we're going to make these aspects of the game easier and these aspects of the game harder, I would not have such a big issue with this, and I would not have such a big issue with these changes. But when they come out, when Yoshi P comes out and goes, we're going to make the game more challenging, and then does the exact opposite by removing challenging mechanics from the game, and then is continually doing everything he kind of can to placate the people who want more challenge and more difficulty out of the game, while not doing that, frustrates me. Because we keep getting told we're getting more challenge and we're getting more difficulty, and then they take it, and then they just take more stuff away, and it's confusing and a little bit frustrating for me. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is I'm a lot better than I was in the past, but I feel like there is a difference between I'm better at the game than I was, and there are aspects of difficulty being removed from the game, right? Yeah, and I get the big thing is, though, with that specifically, Phoenix, is if that had been the communication, that would be the thing, right? I would be fine with that if that was what was communicated. But when they said they were doing a job rework in 8.0, they specifically said they were going to make jobs more complex going into 8.0. But here they are, actively removing complexity from jobs. So are we going to get more complex jobs in 8.0 like they told us we were? Or not? Because the recent dev decisions tell me that they are afraid of there being complexity and difficulty in jobs. There is a point to potentially be made that complexity and difficulty are different things, right? That you can have a complex job without it necessarily being difficult. It was supposed to be more difficult mechanically. I am all for that. I am absolutely all for that. But that then causes another issue, where are they trying to make the game... who are they... That causes the question of, who is this supposed to be moving the needle for? Are they trying to make the game harder for Savage players, specifically? Or are they trying to make the game more challenging overall? Like, that becomes my question. Where are we moving the needle for? Are we trying to move the needle for like a quarter of the player base? Or the whole player base? Because balancing a game around the like 1% is extremely bad. And yeah, the Savage tiers also just naturally get harder. I will agree with Phoenix on that. P1, Eric Thonios, P1 was an extreme fight. I'm gonna be honest. P1 Savage is an extreme fight. But P5, I was in P5 the entirety of day one, proccing. When my, I didn't have a static for P5, granted, so I was PF. But when my static got into P1, we cleared it in in like an hour and a half. It was an extreme fight. It literally took us the same time to clear that fight that it did for us to clear fucking Diamond Weapon. It took diamond and emerald weapon. It took us literally the exact same time. Right, and we never expect the first tier to be difficult, right? The last tier is always pretty difficult. The first tier is always easier on the scale, right? The middle tier tends to be the worst. Is the problem. The third fight of the middle tier, of the second tier of the expansion, has a startling tendency to be the absolute worst fight in the entire expansion. It was that way in Endwalker with the fucking tree. It was there's a lot of people who still complain about Shadow Dog. I didn't really have Shadow Dog problems. I never really had problems with Shadow Dog. No. Eden E7 was birds. E7 was birds. E7 was birds. I never really had a problem with birds, but I will absolutely agree that the rest of the fights of that tier were better. Right? I will absolutely agree the other fights in that tier were better. I didn't have a problem with birds because, like, hitting the second phase and seeing the bird NATO just flare up was funny as fuck, and I always enjoyed it. But the 7th floor of every tier has always been awful. And so my question is this going to be awful because it's mechanically punishing, like M4? Or is this going to be awful because it's an extremely backloaded fight where you're asleep for the first 6 minutes of it, and then on the 7th or 8th minute, all the mechanics happen, and then you're asleep for another 2 minutes? Like Tree in Pandemonium. Because that was the problem with P7, is you were asleep for the first 6.5 minutes. All of the mechanics sat on the 7 and 8 minute windows, and then after you did like the big mechanic, the fight was over. You had like 2 minutes of DPS, and the fight was over, because it was all just one mechanic that you spent like 4 or 5 minutes getting to. Next tier should be harder than the first. The difficulty is numerical tuning is one thing. Numerical tuning is one thing, right? I do agree the DPS checks in phase 1 were in the first floor were overall very, 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 very forgiving. But the question is if they're going to be tuning the numbers tighter for 2, right? Okay. So here's my hot take. Here is the hot take. Making a fight require more DPS to clear does not make it harder. It makes it more punishing. Right? It does not make it harder per se. It does not make the mechanics more difficult to complete. It punishes you more harshly for failing them. And I don't mind punishment, but I will say that when you are going through for re-clears and you are going through for week 1, etc., and especially when you are looking at like not super meta comps, right? Like double ranged or a double caster comp, like for hours in our static of Red Mage Summoner. If the numbers had been tighter for 4, we would never have cleared Sunrise. We would never have skipped Sunrise if the numbers were tighter. Is the big thing, right? If the numbers were tighter for Sunrise, for the difficulty, for the DPS check on that fight, we would never, even with BIS, we would likely just barely be skipping the fight. And that becomes my thing with them saying, talking about the numerical tuning for fights. Is like, that just means you are punished more severely for deaths, and it makes PF more toxic. That is the direct result of that. Is Party Finder gets more toxic. Because you can't make mistakes. If you make mistakes and something happens, someone takes a damage down or the samurai dies, if you are week 1 on like the 3rd fight, that's a wipe. You're not clearing. You're not clearing the fight even if everyone else plays perfectly if the numbers are too tight. They ran into that exact issue with the first phase of P4. Or no, P8. P8. They ran into that exact issue with P8. With Hephaestus. They ran into, or whatever I want to say. Not Hephaestus. That's a Greek god. Whatever the fuck Birdman's name is, right? They ran into that exact issue where the numbers were so tight that you couldn't have a warrior in the comp because without them playing literally perfectly and getting perfect crits and the rest of your group playing perfectly, it is Hephaestus? Okay. Without you playing literally perfectly and like you had to have the gear, you had to have the weapon from the fight to clear it with a warrior. You had to have already cleared the fight to be able to clear it with a warrior in your party because the numbers were that tight. And at the time, they blamed it on their team being super experienced. Hephaestus. Okay. So they blamed it at the time of their team being really good. The raid team that they have in-house for going through these fights. At the time, they blamed it on that. But my question is, if the numbers for the second tier still wind up being too low, or we have another Abyssios problem where the numbers are too tight, where is the issue going to resolve? What are we pointing to for the issue? Right? And there are several boxes and areas for difficulty in the game, and I feel like as the game gets older, the aspects of difficulty narrow, right? I raid log in 14 predominantly because there's nothing engaging to do outside of Savage content. If I want to be engaged, right, I'm going to do Savage content. I'm not necessarily going to do extremes with a job I'm super familiar with unless I'm chasing parses, because there's nothing particularly engaging there. If I make one fuck up in my rotation, I want the raid. I'm hoping the group wipes, right? But and I don't necessarily want to do Savage because there's a weekly lockout on it. So if I go to do Savage because I want to play the game, because I want to actually play the game, but I can't get any sort of enjoyment out of the game because it's all too easy without me stepping forward into Savage content. If I'm in Aesthetic, I can't do Savage content. I can't go and do that on my own because now I'm putting my entire static at risk of losing gear because I went ahead and cleared early. And because the gearing problem in the game is so fucking bad, and because gearing in the game itself is so awful, I am now disincentivized from playing the game outside of exactly my static hours. Or after my static hours, which in the case of Mechanically Drifted is just, I'm not playing the entire week, except for like maybe 6 hours, because we raid right at the end of the week, because that's the only time people have free. I'm apprehensive on Cosmic Exploration because they said very similar things. They hyped up Island Sanctuary very similarly, and it makes me really apprehensive with Cosmic Exploration. I really hope it's good. I hope it's fantastic. I hope that I get absolutely hopelessly addicted and I'm lost in that for fucking days on it, right? I really, really, really hope so. But they said very similar things about Island Sanctuary. where it was going to be something that was consistent content and consistently engaging, and it turned out to not be, right? It was just another side quest chain. It was where with like a little bit of daily upkeep. It was literally another set of beast tribes, and how and how it got treated, right? Occasional update. It got an occasional update. You get occasionally new things that are locked behind it, right? Because they need to keep paying attention to that content somehow. But if you're not a collector, it doesn't matter. Ishgardian Resto and Island Sang. I'm apprehensive. I'm very, very, very apprehensive about that. Ishgardian Restoration I really liked because there was a lot of activity around it. But I'm a little bit worried what elements they're taking from both. Because there are elements of Restoration I was not particularly super enthused about. And then there were elements and like the entirety of Island. There's a lot of Island Sanctuary that just didn't work. Oh yeah, obviously we're going to the moon. It's cosmic exploration. Obviously we're going to the moon. But with all the issues the game currently has as far as keeping people engaged because of a lack of perceived difficulty and challenge in the game, combined with a lack of content for casual players, combined with everything else, I'm worried. I still like the game. Obviously, I'm still passionate enough about it to spend 30 minutes rambling on it. But to say I'm confident that 7.2 is going to be the best patch ever, and I very much doubt that 8.0 is going to fix all the issues. There are going to be issues with the Savage tier when it drops. It's a middle tier. It's probably not going to be fantastic. My expectations are in the floor, right? My expectations generally for everything are pretty in the floor. It's why I'm never disappointed. I do that intentionally. I can never be disappointed if my expectations don't exist. But I feel like 14 is the one game where I do have expectations, but I'm consistently lowering them. My expectations are still very low, right? I am hoping to God this is a good tier. I'm not explaining it. Wow, 7.2 release schedule sucks. Honestly, I feel like the game's schedule and releases have gotten so formulaic that it's beginning to bite the dev team. I think the formula is beginning to become a double-edged sword. Because let me grab a drink. Let me grab another drink. Hello, ads. I think the thing with the release schedule is that it's beginning to become a double-edged sword, right? People know when to expect new content. But because we know when to expect new content, we also know when not to expect new content. And if there's not a whole ton of content in any given patch, it can make the months between patches feel extremely barren. And that's not good. Especially when the casual player base for the game, the player base that doesn't raid, has nothing. Right? Especially when the casual player base for the game has very little, both to interest them and challenge them. There is, like in World of Warcraft, right, for instance, I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed getting to play the bits of WoW that I have for this current expansion that it's in, because the overworld, there is a stress to doing content in world. Because if there are too many enemies, right, or I'm too, or I don't understand how to play my job properly, I'm going to die. Just straight up. And there is content for me to do in WoW that is difficult, but does not require an organized team to do. Like, I can do heroics and mythic dungeons just by jumping into a queue, right? Just by using the duty duty finder, hitting queue for dungeon, and I get into that content, right? And mythics are hard. Mythics are very hard. Mythic keystone dungeons are especially hard, and I can just go through the queue for those. I don't have to organize a party. I can, but I don't have to. And I feel like there is, with the overall game for 14 becoming significantly easier, I don't think there is enough ease of access to engaging content, and I don't feel like there is overall enough engaging content for the player base to maintain. I felt like Dawn Trails patches have been coming out faster than most of our workers. Maybe. A lot of that could also be recency bias. Some of that could be recency bias, to be fair. But I've been waiting for 7.2 for a minute. I'm not super excited about the potential Black Mage changes, I will be honest. As someone who was looking forward to playing Black Mage in 7.2, I'm a little bit upset that I look at a job, go, hey, I want to play that. I might play that because I'm super jaded with the way that the dev team has routinely treated my favorite job in the game in Red Mage, with very obviously being very afraid to give it any sort of actual strong damage potential just because of its ability to drop reses everywhere, even though doing that already shafts my damage significantly. And it, I don't know. I feel, I'm not going to say I feel targeted. That would be actually, like, ridiculous. But I will definitely say I don't feel super great about it. I don't feel super great about it. And I'm not super excited for 7.2. I'll be honest. I really like I'm happy that there's not going to be new Savage content. But I have no particular pressing desire to jump in and clear the rest of MSQ, catch up on MSQ so that I can get to the new expert dungeon on time. Because in my mind, a new Savage tier is, oh yay, I get to grind the same like 3 dungeons for, I get like 1 new dungeon to grind every day for a week because I need to cap out these tomestones or I'm going to be behind on gearing. Like, I'm just not super excited about it, and I'm frustrated that I'm not super excited because, like, I want to be excited about this game, but I don't feel like the game wants me to be excited about it. And there's a lot about this that's just me rambling. But I've spent an hour yapping, and I should absolutely actually boot up Lob. We spent an hour yapping about 14, and we should probably get into the game that we're supposed to be playing today. I'm just, yeah, overall I think I'm just frustrated because I think I'm not super happy with the direction that the game is going. It looks like it's headed in, and I don't have answers that will work for everyone, right? I don't have a bunch of the answers. If I knew how to fix it, I would be screaming how to fix it. but I don't. I'm not a game dev, right? I know enough about game development to understand that fixing this game is going to take time, and and because of that, I'm worried the devs aren't going to have the time they need before they lose too much of the player base, and it becomes very, very difficult. But that's also, I don't necessarily have to be a dev to say, hey, this feels like an issue. I don't necessarily feel like I have to be a dev to go, hey, this feels like an issue. Why are you there? You are. This feels like an issue. This feels not great. I would like this to, like resolve and be nice, and I would like these issues to not be there. I feel like I don't necessarily have to have a dev, have like a game design degree or something to be able to do that. Yeah, like absolutely the game shows its age. The game absolutely shows its age at this point. Hold on, I'm fucking with my placement. It's absolutely a large part of it is the game shows its age at this point. If you wanted a difficult MMO when 14 came out, you played WoW, to be honest. WoW has always been a game that has catered a very die-hard player base. And I'll be honest, 14's raids are more mechanically demanding than WoW's. But a lot of WoW's classes are more demanding than 14's. And I feel like there is a point to be made about the class and job you're playing being difficult versus the fights themselves. Because you're not always going to be engaging with that fight. You're always going to be engaging with that job. So making the job itself complex and have difficulty creates a sense of consistent challenge that is going to be not the easiest thing to maintain with a... Like, this fight is difficult, right? Because ultimately the one fight is a very, very, very small part of the game versus the job you're playing, which is the game. The job you're playing completely changes how you interact with the entirety of combat in the game. The entire combat system functionally changes every time you swap jobs. And I feel like that might be part of the root of the issue. Is they're putting difficulty into spots where it is not going to be consistently felt by the people who are crying out for it. Oh. Oh, the game crashed. The game crashed. That's beautiful. I have been yapping for like an hour, and the game crashed when I tried to load my file. Or when I hit continue. That's beautiful. I'm looking forward to this. I see no reason why it should be consistently crashing. I could open the I'll open the crash report folder if it crashes again on trying to load. If it crashes again, I'll open the folder. I'm just not sure it should be crashing. Ooh, it's not responding. Ah, are we good? Are we good? We're good. Okay, sweet. But no, like, yeah, difficulty definitely wasn't a big thing for 14 when it dropped, but I feel like there are concerns now at this point that means they need to assess where they want difficulty in the game. And they need to communicate where exactly they're wanting the difficulty in the game to be. Because I feel like they're not communicating, and I feel like it's making a lot of... I feel like it's causing a lot of assumptions in the community that is going to result in a lot of people being upset when 8.0 drops. I need to turn my light on real quick. There we go. Okay. But no, ultimately, that I think is like the tail of my concern. Like, I personally don't feel like they're putting difficulty where it needs to be in the game. And that's a me thing. I would like there to be difficulty in spots there is not difficulty. That is 110% a me thing. Speaking of a me thing. Okay, let's start with that. People didn't care about, oh my god, is all the calculation difficulty because it was known that WoW was the difficulty game. Yeah, that's the big thing. And I think part of it is that 14 very clearly was not designed to be a daily driver. It doesn't feel designed to be a daily driver for a lot of people, despite a lot of the systems being dailies. And it feels like there is a communal sense of habit that is now working against that. Took my eyes off of it. I took my eyes off of it. If the counter reaches 0, you die, by the way. So, fun fact. I need to turn that off. But no. 14 again real quick, I think for people who only want difficult content, this game straight up isn't. Yeah, like, and I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. For, like, if all you want is difficult content, you're looking at the wrong game. Right? If all you want is difficulty, you're in the you're playing the wrong game. That I absolutely agree with, but I don't necessarily think it's wrong to not want the game to be overall super easy anyway, right? I think that an element of difficulty is neat. Oh. You died. Yeah, I took my eyes off Burrowing Heaven. Unfortunate. That's my bad. Distracted. But yeah, I don't think the game needs to just be like difficult all the way through, but I think there is room in the game for there to be difficulty and complexity in casual content. And I feel like that difficulty is like where I would personally like to see that difficulty is in job design. I would like to see that difficulty in job design. That is my personal, like, thing. That is where I personally would like to see it. But at the same time, I know that I'm not going to. And I would be lying. I would be lying if I said that did not frustrate me. I would be lying if I said it didn't frustrate me. A lot of that frustration, admittedly, is frustration with the dev team, more so than the game's difficulty. I will freely admit to that, because the game, again, they go back and forth and can't decide whether or not they want. They go back and forth on a lot. They go back and forth on things. They say they want the game to be harder and jobs to be more complex, and then actively remove complexity from the game and from jobs specifically. And it makes me wonder what the vision at this point is for Black Mage. What is the because we have so many jobs in the game, but none of them feel like they have a niche. No job feels like it has a specific thing it does better than anything else. And I'm hoping, like, again, hoping against my own expectations here. I am hoping that 8.0 solidifies that sense of niche for a lot of jobs, because the game just doesn't have it. It's just not there. And because of that, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. The moral of this entire rant, the end point of this entire rant is I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated, and the frustration doesn't really have anywhere to go, because I'm shouting into the ether. If I was I feel like if I was a Japanese player, I would be able to enact some sort of meaningful change on the game with this frustration. But because I am not a Japanese player, my frustration is meaningless. And unfortunately, I feel like that is a mindset and mentality and endpoint that the devs of the game themselves have produced. I feel like that is an endpoint that the devs themselves have produced. Most notably with the removal of Noxious Nash. It does not feel like, as a Western player, I have any say in the game whatsoever. It doesn't feel like I'm treated as a player. I'm treated as a tourist. Which is the frustrating bit. But I can be frustrated about other things. Like, what the fuck was that? Oh, their counter hit 0. Did anyone die? Clerks. Oh no, anyway. I have to send someone up to work with Big Bird. Thank you for the hydrate. Okay, justice more than 3. Okay, that's fine. Justice higher than 3. That's why my justice dropped to 1. Love that. Love that for me. Love that one for me. Feels like I've got shit left. Fuck. Hello, Paige. Hello, Remy. Hello, you bastard. You missed the rant. The, like, hour and 15-minute long rant about Final Fantasy 14. And me being a potential, me being an elitist, I guess. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. The fairies ate her. The fairies ate Susan. My bad. My bad. This day is gonna slow down significantly. We don't even fully know what they are yet. That's the problem, I think. Like, I feel the problem is they're changing Black Mage, and I don't think it needs to be changed. And the change in the appearance of the changes does not look great. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't have the I don't have the faith in this dev team to not assume that they're taking shit out. Because they've consistently shown they would rather take shit out of the game, that they will take shit out of the game at like the drop of the hat if they think it's going to cause any sort of friction whatsoever. I have to watch people's fucking sanity here. There you go, Neville. Please don't go insane. The community is overreacting to speculations. On the one hand, you likely have a point. On the other, I don't necessarily feel as though I can blame the community for reacting so poorly the way that they have. Is it an overreaction? Likely. Do I feel like it's... But I don't necessarily feel like it's particularly productive to reason it away as such. I don't necessarily... Well, Control's dead. Unfortunately. I don't necessarily feel like the community is reacting in a way that is all that unexpected, given the way that this expansion has gone in terms of job development. To the extent I would argue that being surprised the community is reacting this way is unreasonable. I don't think the community's reaction here to the live letter and the Black Mage gameplay that was shown, I don't think the community's reaction there should be at all unexpected. Nobody likes having things taken from them. The dev team knows this. It's why they prefer to buff jobs instead of nerf them. But they don't seem to be able to apply that same idea to job design. It just doesn't seem like they've pieced that one together quite as well. Wait, no, can't put her on that one. And that's ultimately my take on that. That's ultimately, I think, my take on that is I am very apprehensive, but I'm very apprehensive, and I don't really have any faith that the team is going to do anything that feels good. But I don't feel like I have the ability to make change regardless as an American player. As someone who's not a Japanese player, I don't feel like my opinion matters regardless with the game. Because the NA player base at the least has been screaming bloody murder over the difficulty of the game since Endwalker. Like, the difficulty discussion started with In From the Cold. That is, for me, from my perspective at least, that is what started this in force, right? In From the Cold is what really, from my perspective, kicked this entire issue off. Was In From the Cold and the backlash from that being a genuinely difficult mission, it's the entire reason that it's genuine. It is, for those who didn't know, In From the Cold in Endwalker is the reason why there is a difficulty selector on story duties, on story instance duties. That is the reason you can adjust the difficulty of story instance duties, is In From the Cold, because the amount of backlash that the dev team received over the difficulty of that specific encounter, of that specific instanced duty. In From the Cold is what started all of this, at least in terms of a difficulty being the primary discussion for the game. And I feel like this having been the one of the chief discussions among the player base for as long as it has, for us to still be having this discussion in expansion later, is very telling to me that the issue is not necessarily going to get better before it gets worse. The stealth was a little wonky. Ultimately, it's very obvious that it was a prototype for the following, for the kind of, that it was, well, no. Ultimately, it is a very, very unique mission, and I had a lot of difficulty with it. But I feel like the difficulty of that encounter, of that mission, was the entire point. I feel like the mission being as difficult as it was on release was the entire point and objective. Because I feel like if you turn the difficulty down, it fails to, the mission fails in what it is meant to convey. That mission exists in the way that it does from a storytelling perspective to give you context and to put into sharp perspective of how strong the Warrior of Light actually is. That was the narrative purpose of In From the Cold, is to give us a frame of reference for how strong the Warrior of Light actually is. And I feel like the mission fails in that objective if you can lower the difficulty. I feel like the mission fails in its narrative objective if you lower the difficulty. Because as a narrative device, that mission's entire point was the difficulty. Every other encounter can be piss easy. But I feel like In From the Cold specifically needed to stay hard. It needed to maintain its difficulty. You could tap it down or make the stealth a little bit more forgiving. But I think it needed to... I think it needed to be the, oh shit, what the fuck is this challenge? I feel like it failed. My personal take is it fails from a narrative perspective without the difficulty. Like that is obviously my take, my opinion, my perspective on the story, and that is my perspective and take on the impact of that mission. But when I was playing through that mission on release, the one thing that kept running through my mind the entire time was, damn, this would have been so much fucking easier if I wasn't in the situation I'm in. And I'm not necessarily, and I'm not going to spell it out, and I'm going to keep it vague, because there may be people in here who want to get into in my chat who are lurking, who want to get into 14, but haven't, and so I'm going to try and keep the details as vague as I can. But I feel that specific duty falls flat without its difficulty. And I will scream this again and again and again and again and again. Because I feel like that duty specifically was... I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. Because the word that comes to mind is that I feel that the duty was disrespected by the... inclusion of a difficulty selector for it, but I'm not sure that's the right word. It's the word that comes to mind, but I feel like there is a better word to say it, because I don't necessarily want to say that the devs do not respect their own creation. But at the same time, there are some things we can point to that seem to allude to exactly that. Again, in from the cold duty is good. If you haven't already played it, play it on the normal difficulty. If you didn't play it on the normal difficulty, go back, replay it on the normal difficulty. Don't turn the slider down. That shit was peak when it dropped. I wanted to do that duty again and again and again because I was so into the difficulty of it. But like, that's me, right? I get a lot of people who are like, this is a slog, I never want to do this again. And that, I can almost guarantee you, that is also a perfectly valid reaction to that chain of events. That is a perfectly valid reaction to that chain of events. Arguably, it's a more valid reaction than my own of wanting to do it again and again and again. That is arguably a significantly more valid reaction than mine of wanting to do the mission again. Thinking that it was a slog and awful and not wanting to be put through that experience again is perfectly valid. And it would be incredibly disrespectful of me to claim otherwise. Zelda might die doing that, huh? Well, I don't have anyone else that is particularly going to have an easier time of it, so... fuck it, I guess. Info is fine. My friend is asking if it's cheating to use waymarks on In From the Cold. No. No. Like, the thing is I think... do I think it eases the experience in a way that is probably unnecessary? Yeah. I don't know how you're getting waymarks from In From the Cold to In From the Cold. But I'm not going to call it cheating. I would recommend at least trying the duty without them. But if you need waymarks to clear In From the Cold on the normal difficulty, you need waymarks to clear it on the normal difficulty. I will be honest, I was in that duty for quite a long time simply because it was so difficult to know where the fuck to go. So, I can't blame. Waymarks for knowing where the walker... oh yeah, no, absolutely, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. That's perfectly fine. I don't think there's too many problems with that. I would like to make the apology to the my boyfriend community. Your boyfriend community? Didn't realize you had a boyfriend community. You have multiples? That's kind of weird, bestie. I say, throwing myself under the bus at the same time. Everything is so hard to fucking work on. Everything is so hard to work on because I don't have any nuggets that can do a lot of the work, and Control's dead. I don't have any rank 5 nuggets at the moment. Every single one of them has been down tiered. Thanks to this bitch having her tantrum. If you put it like that, it sounds like it comes off like I'm hate criming you. Are you saying you wouldn't hate crime me? Because that's very disrespectful. How dare you not hate crime me? I exist to be hate crimed. Okay? If you are not hate criming me, This is an awful bit. I believe none of this. This is an actually just rancid. This bit is rancid. I guess you're in the boyfriend community then? Oh, hell yeah. You gotta... what was it? Somebody told me that you have a boyfriend that looked like a girlfriend that I had last week. Somebody told me. If you have that song stuck in your head, congratulations. We're in the same boat now. Congratulations, my bit worked. Congratulations, my bit worked. Please look forward to it. What are you talking about? It's a fucking song. It's a song. How dare you not understand my bit? I am the bit master. I was about to say a word that started with a B and would have been great for alliteration. But it might be wise not to say that. I'm not sure. Should I mention this stream is probably not child friendly? Or at least family friendly? I swear a lot. Actually, I don't think I've met my swear quota for this stream. Has anyone counted the number of times I've said fuck yet? I can't believe this bitch doesn't know the killers, right? I can't believe she doesn't understand the bit. Are we keeping track of how many times I swear? Because I think I need to have a quota. I think I need a quota. I don't. I'm sorry. Okay. Hold on. Tell me about it later. Quota, lethal oh my god. She's thinking about Lethal Company again. Actually, that reminds me. I need to find people and potentially resources to play god, mouse, can you behave? To get my hands on Repo. I really want to play Repo. Actually, it looks insane. Also, I think I know what I'm doing next Saturday. For stream, because the Steam Spring Sale is going on at the moment. Hold on, I have to check something in rough connection to that. The Steam Spring Sale started today, and I think that a fun bit would be to finally start playing the game that I keep getting told that I need to play in Signalis. I think next Saturday I start playing Signalis on stream. Because Lovecraftian cyberpunk lesbian romance sounds fan-fucking-tastic, actually. You're standing. You need to play Balatro. It is, I believe, on sale at the moment. I believe it is on sale. Oh, my chair sank. My chair sank. There we go. There we go. It's like, why am I so short? Because my chair did its thing. Yuri Lovecraftian sci-fi? Yes, Yuri Lovecraftian sci-fi. We're gonna be hopefully playing that next Saturday for our first Saturday stream since last year, I want to say. Because I have nothing going on Saturdays anymore. So starting probably next week, we will be streaming on Saturdays. Please look forward to it. I've been told up and down to play. I've had people tell me repeatedly that I need to play Signalis. And I've just, like, staunchly refused to. Not necessarily because I don't want in, or because I don't want to, but because I had it on Xbox Game Pass for free, and I'm not even certain I have Game Pass anymore. Actually, a long time ago, I was gonna play Ori and the Blind Forest on Game Pass. I was gonna stream Ori, and just stuff happened. I stopped streaming, basically. That was like my break. That was my extended break. Oh no, wait. That was not my extended break. That actually had to have been before I started VTubing. I wanted to stream Ori. That was probably one of the first things that I thought about doing, thinking about it. I also have friends that want to, like, get back in. I know Rami and Tsubaki want to do a Baldur's Gate 3 run as well, which, in true fashion for the absolute shenanigans that is my friend group, will likely be streamed because it would be funny. Specifically because it would be funny. I have a very old clip on my TikTok, actually. If you scroll all the way down, it's actually the first clip. It's also I believe the first clip on my YouTube is straight from the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough we were doing. Yeah, it's Bearsterian kidnapping kobolds. Just picking up the kobolds and shoving them and just... You're in my inventory now. Because one of my mods, Rami, Page Weaver, was playing as Druid was playing Asterion as a Druid. And was bear shifted. It was a bear Druid. And we got to the fucking Githyanki place, and we got to the kobolds, and he just walked around picking up the fire wine barrels. Ooh, that is specifically the ones that had kobolds in them. Like, ignored all of the ones except for the ones that had kobolds in them, and we were losing our shit laughing because you just see this big ass fucking bear walking, like, crawling around, and it's like, how is this bear considered as stealthy? How is this bear stealthy? I refuse. We have my least favorite, yeah, we have my, we have my actual least favorite noon. We have my actual least favorite noon here. Simply because it is more than likely going to pop Big Bird. It's more than likely getting us Big Bird. So. You're probably fucked. Yeah. Hopefully that has no adverse effect. Hopefully that's fine. Let's see if we're fucked. We're good. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a highlight, not a clip. There is a clip on my YouTube and TikTok that's different. It's the other idiots thinking that they disarmed a trap, or thinking that like a certain effect protected them from a trap, and it didn't. Alright, where are you? Where is our friend-shaped munch monster? I hear you. I hear you. There you are. Natsu, go deal with your child. Tinio, please go play with Big Bird. Actually, the upside... Thinking about it, there is a significant upside here. We've already lost a portion of the clerics in info. We've lost every clerk in control. There aren't any clerks in training. And there are like 2 clerks in discipline. We might be fine, actually. We might be fine thinking about it. Ruby? I don't know how you're not insane, but okay, bestie. Hang on to that, like, 0.1 sanity, I guess. Don't let me eat it. Be that way. Don't come crying to me when you have to go play with fucking Meat Lantern. Or when I conveniently stop looking at burrowing heaven just long enough for you to die horribly. Hostile work environment? What's that? I don't know what a hostile work environment is. I'm definitely not promoting one. Nope. I'm definitely not promoting a hostile work environment by threatening retribution because my employee did not go insane. That's not at all what's happening here. Okay, we literally have our quota. We just need this to advance. So I'm just gonna throw people places, I think. I think I'm just gonna throw people places. And if the... Like, I think I'm gonna throw people places that are safe, right? I'm not gonna... I don't want to put up with, I'm gonna chew on your... Why? That is such a weird... No. Obedient work environment. This message is sponsored by Narcissism. Among Us? Wait a minute. Among Us? I didn't know we were playing Among Us mentioned. I didn't know we were playing Among Us. I can't believe we've been playing... Hold on. Wait, hold on. God damn it. I can't believe we've been playing Among Us this entire time. I don't have it downloaded, otherwise this fucking bit would be immaculate. I don't have it downloaded, or this bit could be immaculate. My brilliance is halted only by my laziness. I mean, to be honest, if you think my scalp's gonna taste nice, you can have a nibble. But... I don't know. I showered like yesterday. Ah! Hello, ads! Actually, no, I need... I'm thinking about my time frame. No, I need to... Today's the day. Today's the day I need to shower. Because I shower every other day because my, otherwise... My... What did all of it... Okay, Zelda is actually panicking. I would appreciate it if Zelda was not panicking. Okay, Zelda got stabbed or shot enough times and is not panicking. Either that or she stepped right into the fucking building and got healed. Either that, it's one or the other. I don't know. Okay, we're fine. I can't believe we're in 360p again. Yeah, we're in 360p again. Blame HOD. We're crunchy again. I can't believe, oh god, no, wait, hold on. We're like actually in 360p, hold on. Need to unpause this. No, that seems relatively okay. And that is still me yammering. Why is that so late? Oh, I think the YouTube stream might be having problems. The YouTube stream might be having problems. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm watching my kbps and it seems fine-ish. Only 7 seconds behind. It might be Tsubaki being home for once. I'm completely uncertain. Like, it could be that, it could not be that, it could be a mix of things. Natsu, I need you in an elevator, sweetheart. Besides the screen, the game's... Besides manager's viewpoint being 360p, we're good. I'm hoping. Smile. Tell me if we're actually crunchy. Can't promise it'll be fixed, but I can promise I'll try. I just want to multi-stream. It looks like I am dropping frames somewhere, but it's inconsistent. We got through the entire section of yammering and yapping without any problems, so it's like entirely lob, which it shouldn't be, because it's not saying my encoder's overloaded. It's just my kbps is dropping, which is really weird. My bitrate's dropping, and it's it feels weird. I feel crunchy. Oh. My bad. Fuck. My bet is someone might be using the internet. It's not me. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off on this last thing until Punishing Bird goes back to bed. Because in the event that this does actually sit off the noon and we don't skip it, I don't want to die. You know, just a thought. Okay, Punishing Bird has gone back to bed. Alright, Robert. That was crunchy. That was very crunchy. That was a very, very, very crunchy. Let's see if we can get this done in one. I just fucking ruined my entire existence with that statement. We're gonna lose so many fucking clerks. Like, every clerk in here is going to die. Like, every clerk in Central is just gonna... Boom. Oh! We're fine. We did it in one! Let's go! We did it in one! Holy hell. I'm actually so fucking happy we did it in one. Oh my god. Really? None of these are really great. We'll do Flesh Idol. I believe that there is truly inexcusable behavior. He's perfect. If you realize that in forgiving others, your enemy didn't deserve forgiveness, but rather that you needed peace, would things be better? Are you sure you can really join our experiment in such an unstable situation? Michelle, let me cut to the chase. We are performing experiments that go directly against the head's ideals. If your beloved parents or your precious friends try to coax you, are you confident that you'd be able to refuse them? She wasn't able to say anything to my browbeating. Carmen broke the silence instead. Don't be too harsh on her. She's amazing to be here at such a young age. Just like everyone else, Michelle liked Carmen. That was not a trickery or a show. She wasn't a manipulative sort of person who'd keep up such a facade either. I should have made her give the answer she avoided speaking, no matter what. Did Michelle receive what she wanted? I don't know. Did she accomplish her purpose by trampling on us and Carmen? I'll never know. Do I have any right to bear hatred towards her? The answer was no. I was no different from her. To be honest, I never wanted you to die in misery, like that nasty tabloid article gossiped. Were you able to successfully face yourself, manager? When I awoke to find myself here, I thought this could be my second chance. I thought I could redeem myself and liberate myself from my mistakes. What I did can never be undone. A sunken pebble can never float to the surface again. I wanted to be a kind person. I wanted to show everyone that I might be okay here somehow. Was I truly being considerate of others? Silly me. There's no room for something like that here. I was a hypocrite. All those nice acts were for myself. I'll keep trying to be a better person, even now. It may be spacious, and some people may hate me for that. But as long as my efforts can save a person's life or give a person the consolation they need, I will live on, where that pride is a stepping stone. So, manager, let's keep trying together in this interminable hell. Woo! That is 3 down! Let's go! Even if you turn back the clock, I really think your regrets can be so easily washed away as if nothing happened. Oh, to work in an experiment with my favorite junior. I feel unstoppable, like a tiger given wings. Don't be so humble. You could have gone to any wing you wanted. But you still chose to come here. Is it because of your trust in me? Just you wait. I'll make sure you won't regret your decision. Look at this. Everyone's subconscious leads straight to death. Everyone is forcibly locking away their own light and potential. And here, this is the treatment I've told you about. The treatment for the soul. Trust me, we've made a worthy first step. People will gather around us soon enough. I sincerely welcome you to this place. Be honest with me, man. You're not coming to these meetings with me for praise, are you? Aren't you sick and tired of this? You'll do something great tomorrow yet again, though it won't be anything all that great, and Miss Angela and the other Sephiroth will shower you with compliments. We'll have another accident in my department, a couple will fall down and die, some will go nuts, and a pile of them will get injuries they'll never recover from. Odd will try and cheer me up, Blessed will lecture me about what regulations I didn't follow, Malkuth will try to encourage me, lively as usual. Let's try harder tomorrow. Nobody will say to my face that it's my fault, but it'll be clear as day that I'm responsible for all of it, surely. My day always repeats like that. Starts with death, ends with death. Every employee here regularly receives a small dose of a certain drug. Did you know? Did you? Did you know? Did you know gaming? It helps them become desensitized to everything. Just think about it. If your good old lunchmate is found dead, torn into thousands of pieces, who in the world would be able to clean up his dead body without a single drop of emotion? Could you blame them? Would you call them cowards for depending on drugs? Everyone's just trying to escape from this reality in their own ways. They might look and pretend to be okay. Nobody really is. I keep thinking about how I can off myself. Don't do that! I know it's like a metaphor. Death for us is a hypothetical concept. I heard injecting substances like enkephalin into machines will slowly but surely rust them. Then, maybe I could chug a whole bottle into my body. Give myself irreversible damage. Funny. I just injected myself with way more enkephalin than I usually do. Yet my mind is clearer than ever. Hell, I feel completely lucid right now. If I were to open my eyes again, maybe it'll be somewhere without you, those other Sephiroth, or that Angela. It hasn't been fun. Let's never meet again. We began our research on Cogito in earnest. The most urgent issue that prevailed at the time was the correct dosage. I tried to persuade people. I told them we have to proceed with the experiment in order to save Carmen and the others. Everyone fell silent when I asked for volunteers. Then, one man quietly raised his hand. It was Giovanni, who had kept to himself for most of his time here. Giovanni was one of the patients from Carmen's company. I heard they had known each other since childhood. There is no such thing as a noble sacrifice. The end is always miserable, no matter how justifiable a cause it may be for. My statement that this experiment could bring back Carmen must have been the strongest motivation that drove him to volunteer. An experiment to find the proper doses of a drug is not something that could be done just in a trial or two. I never talked with him much. I had nothing in common other than our acquaintance with Carmen. Cogito emaciates the boundary of a human. Emaciates the boundary. Ooh, that's a nice word. And repeated experiments will leave an indelible mark. All right. Then after this, we get the next mission from the Tiferaths. Synchronization completed. All newly contracted employees will have their stats at level 3. Holy fuck! Holy fuck, that's good! Oh my god! That's insane! And it's still only 1. That's nuts. So every new employee is rank 4. I am no longer upset about everyone in control dying. Holy fuck. I need to move people out of safety. That's nice. Yeah, you're still alive. You're you're fucking decked to the 9s. Still alive. I no longer feel bad about everyone dying. Holy shit. Congrats, Phoenix! Holy fuck. Yeah, it is usable. I'm actually really fucking happy. I'm over fucking joyed with that. Oh my god. For the price of 1, we get an employee worth like fucking 10 or 12. My god, we might be able to take on the Apocalypse Bird. Like, that's a strong might. But we actually have employees with stats now. We have fuckers with stats now. That's so crazy. Look at that. It's just rank 4. I don't have any gear that specifically require, or like armor that requires it. But holy hell. That's so good. I had 7, you ain't strong enough. I had 7 Bong Bong clones and then couldn't do it. It'll cause additional white damage. Nice. Alright, Max, with your dead-eyed stare. Yeah, we'll give you the pokey stick. That's actually crazy. All Aleph gear? Yeesh. Just have more clones. Just clone Bong Bong a few more times. Oh my god, I'm out of high tier weapons. I'm out of weapons. I'm actually out of super high tier gear. That's crazy. That's actually insane. Holy fuck. Alright, we'll give it a crack. I didn't read what was going on. It'll be fine, surely. We're tripping. I forgot that I could just make more. Yeah, just clone more. Why only 7 bongbongs when you could have 10? We got the Decapo weapon. I never have to interact with this awful abnormality ever again. Woo! I'm free! You getting blessed? Okay. Ba, ba, ba. 45. We got the magic bullet armor. So you need 50. I can just like toss someone at it. Wait, everyone can do this now. This actually makes life so much easier. Wow. Man, that's a quality increase. That's the gimmick. The rooms don't heal them. Nowhere is safe. Okay, I get you. I get you. Express train. We are going to gamble with God. I was doing. Oh. Where is my me? I'm dead. Goodbye. I'm dead. I no longer exist now. I'm dead. Streamer dead. Goodbye. Stream's over. I have perished. How? Oh wait, no, it does pale damage. That's how. It does pale damage. Right. That's fucked. That's fine though. We'll keep going. Yikers. Wait, I have ways to circumvent this completely. I have to play with, I have to gamble with God, but Express Train lets me heal the entire facility if it's at 4 lights, and then I can use that to do basically the same thing. Friend? I don't know what just got put into my chat. What kind of incantations are you casting? Why are you casting magic spells in my chat? Oh god, we're wibbly. The screen is so wobbly. The screen is so wibble wobbly. Damn, I was expecting HOD to take longer. I'm gonna be honest. Motherfuck. Hello, ads. Joshua got eaten. He was our ticket guy. I can't believe we lost our ticket guy. Manager, do you play Limbus? I do not. I do not. Yeah, I do not play Limbus. I don't really have the availability in my life to devote to a gacha at the moment. I was playing Girls Frontline 2 when it came out, but I have not had the ability to play it for a while. Oh, wait a minute, that doesn't work. Oh, you're shitting me. Well, this is gonna be a rough ride. Why'd you have to take so much of your drug, bro? We're all suffering from your trip. think if another employee dies, we're probably resetting the day. I was not aware of the I apologize, sir. I was not aware of your game. I am now. Consider me frightened, because this doesn't matter. Gambling with God doesn't matter, because it doesn't restore anyway. Yeah. I'm thinking about that. But it's fine when it does, like, no damage. The problem is when it does, like, damage. Because there's no healing. None. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me try something. If I send Sergey to one sin and he completes it, this will confirm. This can confirm my suspicions, I think. Because we've already confirmed that that doesn't solve it. We've already confirmed that Express Train doesn't trivialize it, and neither does Woman trivialize it. So facility-wide healing effects don't work. But one sin, I believe, does restore SP on a good result. So we'll watch this and see. I'm not expecting it to work. I'm not expecting it to work. No, it did not. Fuck. Well. My apologies, sir. I was not aware of your game. This just got a lot scarier. You know, I'm beginning to realize why this one is locked behind, HODs. Yeah, I'm beginning to realize why this is locked behind hers. Because this is a bit of a significant step. This is definitely a step up. Definitely a step up. Yeah, we did HOD in 1 today. That's why we've still got like 30 minutes left in stream. We did her in 1 today. I'm actually really surprised. I was not expecting her to be as easy for us as she was, but having exactly one Aleph in the facility probably helps that, I think. Alright, well, in the, in famous words that I have, probably said too many times at this point, if we die, we die. Yeah! Get it, clerks! Get it! Solve our issue for us! No, do not warn me. I will suffer when I reach it. I will suffer when I get there. My suffering will be delicious. Please look forward to it. And by please, I mean, you should do me a favor and look forward to it. Okay, so I have to keep an eye on everyone's, like, actual health values here. Because I can't have people getting, damaged. I can't have people just getting hurt. Where's discipline? Tinia, could you please go contend with that before it summons a train? But the gimmick is I have to be careful. Training team took ooh. Hoon is probably. Do I put Hoon in? Yo, idea! Punishing Bird will probably kill Hoon, actually. Thinking about it. Punishing Bird could most definitely kill Hoon. Would not be amazing for us. Why are you unhappy? Oh no, delaying the suffering is much less enjoyable. Where are you? Everything's so wibbly, I can't tell where fucking Punishing Bird is. Oh, there it is. Everything's so wibble wobbly. Oh, son of a... Okay, that's only 3. Okay. So long as people don't lose an inordinate amount of health before, I'm gonna stuff you right down in that corner. And if you get killed by an ordeal, that's not my fault. I'm trying to keep you safe. I'm putting Hoon in the corner. I'm putting Hoon in the corner. Actually, you know what? Not that corner. We're gonna... Yes, that corner. That corner is probably ideal, actually. So the gimmick is I can't heal. Except it's gonna get worse on this next set. So how is it going to get worse? It could reduce the HP of my nuggets. That could be worse. Having everyone's HP stat sounds plausible. It sounds perfectly possible. I need to stop fucking with the joystick on my cyborg. Yeah, he's still kind of grumpy. He's still kind of grumpy and out of it. Which, to be fair, I am also pretty out of it when I'm high. So, it's not too big of a surprise. We'll get 5 on you. Yes, we are. But also, fuck with my resistances. HUD fucked with stats. You're making it to where we can't heal. The generator gauge just isn't. It's treating as though there's always a enemy in the room. But it's also just not providing healing. There is cap. We need to be a little bit more careful with who I send where, because we're in an attrition game at the moment. The guy who doesn't know what a JPEG is. Oh my god, those are such those are actually good fucking I like these descriptions. I'm calling Hod Schizo from now on. Hod's new name is Schizo. I will not be proven otherwise. You actually cannot prove me otherwise. We have drug yeah, I agree. Okay. I saw healing. Okay. I fuck with it. So we got a bit of healing off of that set. Yeah, I'm not fond of the Indigo Noon. That's not gonna be pleasant. That is likely a restart. Indigo Noon alone is probably a reset. I'm not entirely sure how well we're going to be able to contend with that. Well, my tracking's back. Honestly, I'm not very fond of Indigo Noons to begin with. They've always been my least favorite. Yeah, this theme actually does go really hard. I really like it. Listen. We have this full, so we're gonna send Addy back in. I'm completely acknowledging that the health values are probably still fucked. But we will send our baby Nug in there. Who are we grabbing? A low temperance employee. It has to be this guy. It could be that guy. It could be him or Hoon. Ooh, Camille took a lot of damage out of somewhere. That's a fourth light. And it did nothing, predictably. Okay. You didn't get a yelp, but you did startle me. Those are gonna be hell. When I decide I'm actually gonna when I decide to actually subject myself to scarier games. Yeah, it's like I get the vibe that it's like a mini game deal. I get the vibe it's like a mini game deal. Like, can we get a yelp from the streamer? Can we get her to scream? The answer is a surprising yes in certain contexts. I thought that was Addy for a moment. That was just fucking dead. Oh, I was about to freak my shit. It's like, what? All right, time for the run ender. Time for the run ender. Where are you bopping? You are bopping a Zelda cat girl. Please stop bopping a Zelda cat girl. Punishing bird. Please go back home. Punishing bird, please. Please go back home. Punishing bird, please. Please. Please go home. Please go home. Home. Home bird. Home bird. Bird. You going? Okay, you're going. No. I want to send Hoon. Okay. So the general theme seems to be hope. No. Discipline is literally right there. I need to remember. Peak. Okay. Nothing over here. So these guys are all moving. Control, get down here. The squad. Are they red? They're black damage, looks like. Yes. I'm surprised that Big Bird is not provoked a bit more. I'm not sure I like the giggles. We're actually making very short work of sweepers. But I'm going to feel the I'm going to be feeling this ordeal for a while. Which is the entire problem, is I'm going to be feeling this ordeal for a minute. There's one more of you fuckers. fucking Phoenix with my favorite set in the entire game. Ow! Indigo Noon blasted. Doesn't really matter, but that they're in their main rooms, but I'm not super thrilled. I am not super thrilled about our health values at the moment. We're probably out of dodge, to be honest. We are more than likely out of dodge. Unless something massive happens, like spontaneously, I would have to fuck up pretty significantly to lose this day. We rinsed the shit out of this Reapers. So I would have to fuck up pretty significantly to lose this day, I think. Like, I would have to forget about the train in order to lose this day. I'm dead! Let's go. I'm probably staying dead. All is once again in balance. What is your status on the missions for the middle layer? I still need to... So, Tifereths are going to be... I'm going to be on Tifereth's next mission after I complete this suppression. I need to do the rank 4 suppressions for Gebera, and I need to do the time limit for welfare. I'm gonna need to do another day one, probably. I'm probably gonna need to do another day one. That's every mission for welfare? Oh, God. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm also not going to get reckless right here. Because this could end it. This right here might end it. Hands up. 2 meltdowns, 1 stream, first try both. I am so good at video games. I am so good at video games. I feel good. Fairy tale, original. Nothing can compare to the music it makes when it eats a human. What happens when the black swan wakes up from dreaming of a white swan? Well, there's no trauma here. Except maybe this one. There's no trauma here, so it's between an original and a fairy tale. If there was a trauma here, this answer would be easy. But unfortunately, there's not enough trauma here. Yeah, this one is trauma. I'm aware this one is trauma. But these, neither of the new ones are trauma, and that's the problem. There's not a new trauma. There's not a new trauma abnormality, so there's no easy choice here. I'm gonna go with the original one. This one sounds fucked up. If Carmen was here, she'd laugh so hard at seeing the two of us talking like this. I mean, we've never really talked to each other. After all, I was here because I trusted Carmen, not you. I hope this will bring Carmen back to life. We couldn't save her. It was the result I had been expecting since the very start. I couldn't answer his last words because I didn't want to desolate the only hope he had left. That was my selfishness, believing that he would at least be happy in a fleeting dream he could not wake up from, lying in restless sleep. So I totally failed on that Enkaphalin experiment of mine, seeing that I'm facing you right now. I'll have to check out another way next time. Don't worry, I'm just kidding. Don't people word of this to Miss Angela or the other Sephiroth. They'd have a field day. I heard treatment is needed for a while because my parts were full of Enkaphalin. It'll probably be tough. Bit painful too. To be honest, I didn't want to wake up ever again. It's been a while since I've had such a long sleep. But somewhere deep in my flickering consciousness, someone called out to me. That familiar yet unfamiliar voice said this. No, cannot. Here, you must ask my permission for anything, even for death. And then you saved me. Opened my eyes once again to here we stand, sadly. This place will never be safe. It's impossible, even if everyone tries. Well, there's something to get out of all this. It's to try and live. Even though life is full of pain, if I have to find and hold on to even this tiniest speck of possibility, if that's what you and the voice wished for, I can't help but give a shot at living up to your hopes. Now can I? From the get-go, I had no respect for you. You know that? But for the first time, I think that maybe it was me who called you. Hello, ads! You came to ruin me, but also to save me. I think we're both in a similar situation. We were both caught up in the karma of the past. I'm not the one who has changed. It's you, manager. You're the one who's finally starting to see clearly. For done! I am so good at this game! Maybe I was a tree in a past life. And everyone would pay more attention to what I say. No, maybe that's too much to ask. Especially with all the abilities I already have. What about you? Or what would you want to become? What thought is that? A medicine extracted from human subconsciousness. A form made from a formless concept. Isn't it fascinating? A seed. I want to go home. Sister, we probably aren't going to go back to our old house anymore. Try to think of this place as your new home. How can you even call this place home? It's too different from our real home, and there's no mom. Well, what if we said Carmen was our new mom then? No, this isn't the same at all. Let me go home, please. Enoch, why do you keep trying to participate in those weird experiments? You know we don't have to. Besides, Carmen told us that we didn't have to worry about anything here too. Of course, it'd be really fun to spend time with you here, without a care in the world. Sometimes I imagine a future like that. It would be a very happy one. But how would we be able to find meaning in our lives there? There are children abandoned in the outskirts who are dying every day. We were only able to live on thanks to an unexpected turn of events. Settling for simple comfort in this place is not what I was born to do. And it shouldn't be either. Your words are too hard for me. Why do you have so many thoughts on your mind? They say too much thinking might make you a weird person. You know, Lisa, I think I've always been sad. I never loved my own life for even a second. How nice would it be to live in a happy world next time? You know, are you hurt? No, it doesn't hurt one bit. Please don't be sad. I know something good will happen next time. It seems you're awake. You are in the Lobotomy Corporation. I am the one who woke you. The both of you are Tiferath. You will be working as my assistants, helping me with amazing work from here on out. Why do we have the same name? Because there is no point in distinguishing between you two. Hi, nice to meet you, Tiferath. Keep making silly mistakes, Tiferath. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'm sure you'll be fine on your own pretty soon. We made it so far. The other Sephiroth wouldn't have dreamed of working this fast. We might be even better partners than we thought. Yeah, I think so too. I wonder, why do we exist here? Why do you worry about that? We're a part of this central command department, and we're sitting on a mountain of work to do. We just need to focus on the task at hand. We're radically different from normal machines. I think about you and you think about me. We both ponder about things, feel pain, and recognize our own existence. There must be some reason for it. Be careful, Tiferath. Miss Angela finds out you're wondering about things like that, she won't be happy about it. Lady Angela, what will happen to Tiferath? Apart from the fact that his condition is abnormal, his excessive questioning will affect the manager's duties as well. Since this behavior is unacceptable under any circumstances, I'll have to reset him to the default status now. Don't worry, you'll be alright. You are simply going back to your first day at the company. But, Lady Angela, Tiferath has spent so much time with me. You're really starting to act like a child now, Tiferath. Why don't you say your goodbyes then? Though that you two will meet again soon anyway. Tiferath, sorry. Why are you crying, Tiferath? I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything for you. Please don't be sad. I know something good will happen next time. Yeah. You're here. Sometimes I spend my time here. It makes me think about a lot of things. Tiferath always looked at the world one step ahead of me. He was seeing his own world that I will never come to know. We were always next to each other, but in reality, we were never truly together. Do you know that feeling of missing someone, even though they're standing right beside you? I don't care at all about the meaning or purpose of existence that Tiferath talked about. I just wanted the two of us to happily stay here together. That was all. But this place won't allow us to have even that small luxury. There are countless of Tiferath's dead bodies piled up here. Can't you see? I'm standing here stepping on their remains, trampling over all the memories, reminiscences, and time that I spent with Tiferath. I'm standing on top of it right now, but I still don't get it. I still can't reach the world Tiferath saw. I sing the song of our hometown and mourn for Tiferath even though this will never reach him. Care to join me? Tiferath, what are you doing here? Just reminiscing on old memories. What memories? The good old days, when we were together. You're right, we had lots of fun together. Come back to me soon, Tiferath. I'll be reading the rest of the report. I will. You can replace the machine and transfer the key memories all you want, but that still won't bring back the Tiferath I knew. Does that really matter, though? Tiferath will continue to smile at you, and he'll spend time with you just like before. Kindly refrain from bringing up such wasteful matters, Tiferath. It's completely meaningless here. I don't really like you. The new manager would always have some kind of influence on Tiferath, and that would eventually lead to yet another breakdown. It will be the same, time and time again. We will discard Tiferath again and again, and he will stray further and further from what he used to be. What I'm scared of most is seeing Tiferath burn to a husk, worn down from all those overloads and resets. For now, he can at least look normal and talk with me, pretending to feel nostalgia for the old memories that were forcefully added back. He's been getting more and more unstable, as a matter of fact. We're basically pumping electricity into a machine that's already teetering to keep it running. You can make as many copies if you want of his body, but he only has one soul. His one and only soul. And look what we've done to it. You. Let me ask you a favor. You've been good at doing favors for me so far. You should be able to manage this one. Could you get rid of Tiferath? Permanently? Angela would say that there's a reason for the two of us working here together. She'd say that we are two, yet one. But I can handle the Central Command Department all by myself. I proved myself a long time ago. Please let Tiferath rest in peace. As if I were alone from the beginning, before it gets any worse. Why aren't you saying anything? In fact, Lady Angela doesn't care about us at all. Whether there's one Tiferath or two, whether one just became a moving piece of useless scrap for whatever reason, or if one were overloaded and dumped on top of countless other discarded Tiferath, left to melt in the storage, she wouldn't care. But you're different. You're supposed to be different. There are many abandoned children in the outskirts. These children were one of the many end results of the countless conflicts among the wings within the city. Aside from disease and hunger, the most frightening enemy were the children were the ones referred to as the sweepers. The sweepers usually preyed upon the children. Sometimes they would accompany them. Both were worst-case scenarios for the children. One fixer of ours was exploring the outskirts and came across those children. We could easily guess why she bothered to report her findings to us. We also figured that she had spent quite a bit of time agonizing over whether to report it or not. Carmen personally asked her to bring the children here. To take 2 children into the city from the outskirts required an extremely complicated procedure, but no one complained. The 2 children didn't look like siblings, but they depended on each other even more so than siblings by blood do. The girl was easily frightened and wouldn't open up very much to us. However, the boy started to show interest in our experiment. I saw it in his eyes. He had already seen and experienced so much of this world's despair and misfortune. His eyes no longer looked like those of a child. Please allow me to participate in the experiment, he said. Carmen spent many nights thinking about his earnest request. And finally, we proved his participation. Where did we want to go while holding a child's hand? You should have been the one to die. Yeah, I should have died. Lisa's vicious mumbling likely had no weight to it, but I knew one thing. I knew Carmen's answer was sincere. Ever since that day, her wound quietly deepened. What? Lob, please. Lob, please. Please. I would love to make it a hat trick. However, we are out of time. We are out of time. Regenerator will heal all employees anywhere in department. Ooh, those in the hallways will be healed with 50% efficiency. Ooh! I would absolutely... Oh my god, we have to move everyone out. No, must be past day 37. Okay. Okay, never mind. We are way too early. Neat. All right. And it's a... Oh, fuck, mother. Oh, my side. My side. Okay, so we have to be past day 37 for Tiferet's, thing. Got it. We need people in safety. Thankfully, we have things. Okay, I'm gonna hit this button so that it snapshots. And then do this. Okay, we are done for today. That was good progress. I feel like we made really good progress. We have a new abnormality that we're going to be messing with next week. Friendly reminder that on Wednesday we are once again going to be delving into Nine Souls. Next Friday is going to be Lobotomy Corporation, and next Saturday is probably Signalis. We're going to be doing Saturday. Keep an eye out on my socials or in the Discord. We might be streaming earlier. You will know that when I get the schedule going sometime tonight or tomorrow. Likely tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow I'll get the schedule set up and going, and I'll post it in on Twitter and in the Discord. Keep an eye on those if you want to know when we're going. Yeah, that was... I feel confidence is a slow and insidious killer. I feel really, really good. I feel really good. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night. If you're going to eat before you go to bed, I hope the food is good and that you give yourself plenty of time before going to bed so that indigestion does not come murder you in the middle of the night. Please believe me when I say it's not pleasant. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky and TikTok and YouTube because I post shorts because I've been posting shorts on there 2 every week. Clips from stream tend to go up on there on on Thursdays and Fridays. I'm trying to grow on TikTok specifically so that we can start streaming over there, so that we can grow the familiar army and I can maybe actually live out my childhood dream of being a full-time content creator. Please look forward to it, I guess. Yeah, you all have a fantastic rest of your night. I hope you all sleep well, eat well, and I will see you next week. Until the next time, as always, until the next time we meet, if not for yourself, then at the very least for me, my dear darling familiars, stay comfy. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Weep not for roads untraveled. Weep not for paths left alone. 'Cause beyond